Hey everyone, I'm Boom.
And I'm Spice, here with our retake of the Halloween or holiday episode. I goofed before, but we're back. We're doing our holiday episode for 2023, and we are covering The Hogfather by Terry Pratchett. However, beforehand, we have some bookkeeping to handle. So Boom's got 2 gifts for me, and I've got 1 gift for him. Boom, should we go through the motions of pretending to have me unwrap this?
I think we can just catch everyone up.
So I mistakenly swore last take, so we had to scrap it. Before then, Boom gifted me graciously 3 copies of Dune, 1 being Chapter House Dune, the other 2 being Heretics of Dune and God Emperor of Dune. However, I already own God Emperor of Dune and Heretics of Dune, so I gifted those back to Boom because he doesn't own them. So it all worked out in the end, and that's when I swore, because I was reading the back cover jacket of Chapter House Dune, and they're talking about, but their true weapon remains a man who has served countless lifetimes, a man who served under the God Emperor Paul Muad'Dib. It's Duncan Idaho.
It has to be.
It's Duncan Idaho. He's the Gola, so that's a dumb tease. I'm not going to enjoy reading it, but I'm going to.
It's been some time since Dune's been super fun to read, but we're in it.
Who knows?
So we need them. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll turn my expectations on their head. Now I've got a gift for Boom. I'm going to pass along to him.
We sure shop at the same spots.
The exact same spots.
Nice. It's Thief of Time by Terry Pratchett. It's another one in the Discworld series.
I think that's another death one.
Oh, is it?
That surrounds death. So
that's good.
That's a part of why I picked it up.
Nice. Yeah, and I do not have this one.
Good.
I've got a bunch of them, but not this one.
Good. Yeah, that's one of those. I was taking a shot in the dark, but I'm like, well, at least it's a fun death one. So if you don't have it, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
And then I'll open this last one. Should I speculate as to what it is?
Sure.
Based on its texture and size, I'm guessing it's either some sort of like vinyl record or it's a calendar. That's my guess. Because it's square and it's thin, but there's still, like, it's not just a paper, it's got subhead to it. If I had to guess. That's not based off my expectations, just based off how it feels in my hand. Yeah, it is a calendar. It's a haiku calendar. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, that's awesome. Boom. Thank you.
You're welcome.
These illustrations are gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is sweet. This feels like one of those gifts that you buy for someone and you think, man, I really wish I had bought this for myself.
It's very cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
That is neat. Do you see that one where it's like the lodge covered in snow?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to hang this up in my room. I don't know. Tape would feel kind of underserving.
Duct tape it to the wall.
Thank you, Boom. That's awesome. That's a fantastic gift. I'm sorry I couldn't give you as much as you gave me.
No, that's all right. It ended up being like I got a pretty good amount out of this. I knew I was taking a risk getting the Dune books because you had mentioned like getting going right into the next ones.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure how far you gotten into buying them, but I'm glad at least one of them.
Yeah. This is the ideal situation. It
worked out great now because I need those too. So
right, and it would have worked out with Thief of Time too, because I would have needed that. Yeah. So this just ought to be how we buy books in the future.
Books we know we have to read.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy one that you don't own.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then in terms of bookkeeping, for the past 3 months we haven't recorded, and for the past 4 or 5 months we haven't posted. So a discussion of what you've been reading is kind of pertinent at this point.
Right.
So what's the most recent book you've been trying to get through?
Right. So I actually just finished The Hogfather by Terry Pratchett.
Same here.
The holiday episode. And then, I've actually been doing pretty bad at reading lately.
Me too.
For 2 guys that do a reading podcast,
yeah.
I have not been reading very much between like the new job, the fantasy football season.
Boom and I are potentially going to face each other in the finals of our fantasy league.
I know. You've been quite a dark horse.
I mean, I started out 0-5.
Yeah, and I've just been like locked in ever since.
Now that I know how fantasy works,
yeah. But and that it's just been pretty busy. But that's I don't know. I'm pretty back into it now. This book, the Hogfather's got me right back into it.
Oh, Boom just got his blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of work for that. That was part of it too. We had a competition.
I had to miss it because I wound up getting the big virus.
Yeah.
But I'm healthy now. If I sound a little stuffy, it's because I stayed up late last night playing GTA.
Nice.
I don't know. I didn't play many video games the entire time I was student teaching, so this has been nice.
Yeah, we've been about as busy as two people can be.
Yeah, I just finished my undergrad. Yep. I've been training jiu-jitsu too. I've been wrestling. So busy people, but we're still trying to read. I finished, or not finished. I'm like that'd be like 1/5. I'm like 1/5 of the way through Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. I've been trying to get through War and Peace on audiobook with all my Spotify listening minutes. I've got No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai on my shelf. I've got like 30 more pages of that. I just need to finish that up. That one's weird. I don't know if that's a podcast book. He's got like a school shooter vibe to him. It's a little uncomfortable. Very, very incel-y. It's not great. It's a fun book, though. I mean, like, if you like reading about weirdos talking about themselves, which I do. I don't know, that's one of my favorite pastimes, reading about freaks. Like, fictional freaks who just, like, talk about themselves. Like Holden Caulfield and all them. Mm-hmm. My boy.
Nice. Yeah, the benefit of not reading as much over the past couple months means like my Audible credits are like through the roof right now. I've got like 3 books that I've like already bought or claimed with a credit, and I have like 6 spare credits, so I'm just going to be tearing through audiobooks.
Sweet.
Cameron, my girlfriend, has started reading like audiobooks at night, and now we're going to start just reading for like a half hour to an hour together before we go to bed. So we're gonna be ripping through books.
I've been trying to get Jenna into that. Yeah.
It's tough to get this someone who hasn't like historically been a reader. It's hard at this point in life to get into reading.
Worst part is she's smart. Like, she's very smart. She's very literate. I don't know. She goes to Case. Like, I don't think there's much else you can have in terms of just like a hallmark of being smart when it comes to like big name colleges, but like I don't know, other than like the Ivy Leagues and stuff, but like, she's just not a habitual reader when it comes to her own pastimes. It's just not good. I don't know. It's not like something that makes me less attracted to her, but like, it would be nice to have someone who embraces.
Yeah, it's tough, because it's hard to portray like what you're missing by not reading. Like it's for someone who doesn't do it. It's hard to have them get what you're talking about.
A lot of similar itches get scratched by other mediums, but there's some things that you'll never get. It's like you get the feeling of accomplishment you get when you get into a niche hobby, like, I don't know, wine tasting, vinyl collecting, I don't know, pottery, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So you get that feeling of like being in the in group and something that's difficult. But you also get the stuff that people get from movies, TV, like music, where it's the storytelling aspect and the characterization aspect that anyone could get from a lot of things. But it happens to be more intense with the books, because even this is way more intense in terms of a commitment than any movie. Even the longest movie is nothing compared to reading even a short book.
Yeah.
Like, I've been reading the Brothers Karamazov since June. Like, you don't get that in movies.
No.
Not even TV. Especially when it comes to binge watching. So there's a personable aspect of books. It's like some books feel like my friend because I've spent so much time with them.
Absolutely.
Like my copy of Infinite Jest is going to be absolutely torn to tatters by the time I'm done with it.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like my like I've got these like old beat up copies of the Lord of the Rings series up there that I've read like, I mean, I don't even know how many times. And it's something like, I know here, I'll be right back. Our fan just turned on. I'm gonna kick it off.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk about So, in terms of New Year's resolutions, I'm thinking, because I don't think we'll have time to record a New Year's podcast in addition to our holiday podcast. New Year's book resolutions I'd like to do the 52 books in a year thing. I don't think I can hit it, but I'd like to try.
Yeah.
That. I'd like to finish The Brothers Karamazov and Infinite Jest. I'd like to make some serious headway on War and Peace. And then I'd like to get the Dune project in the bag. Those are my 5 New Year's book resolutions. Nice. What about you, Boom?
Yeah, I likewise with the Dune project. That's going to be a huge milestone for us with all the reading and different moving parts of that.
Thousands of pages.
Yeah, thousands of pages, like different books. It's a lot, and that's going to be really cool when it's done. It's going to be rewarding.
I'm pumped.
I've got a couple fantasy series like I'm really trying to like dig into. Yeah. Like I always take a couple every year. Like this past year it was the Robin Hobb trilogies. I want to continue the Realm of the Elderlings. So I just picked up like the Live Ship Traders trilogy a little bit ago, and like then that was like right when I hit this like no reading time thing.
Yeah.
So I really want to read that because I hear it's like just as good or better than this my favorite trilogy. So that's going to be good. I want to dig into some of these like these big books that we have on the horizon. I want to finish. I think Moby Dick is first up on my on my radar.
That was a pretty easy audiobook.
Yeah, and it just goes with stuff I like. You know, that's kind of in our wheelhouse, the seafaring adventures. That's the other reason I'm really excited about the Live Ship Traders. It's like all the same Robin Hobb stuff, but they're on boats.
That's sweet.
So
that's sweet.
That's going to be fun. Then I want to start. Oh, I forget what it's called. The first book is called the Gardens of the Moon, I think. And I cannot, for the life of me, think what like the actual series is called, but it's by Steven Erikson, and that's supposed to be like a pretty good fantasy thing.
That's sweet. I'd like to do the Wheel of Time at some point.
I would love to read the Wheel of Time, especially like the relationship it has to Brandon Sanderson towards the end. That'd be kind of, a cool circle back to see how that goes when he's writing with other people or for other people.
Yeah, and there's a lot of secondary media out there about it.
Yeah, they've got the Amazon show now.
Yeah.
I wanted to start it, but I want to read it first.
Yeah, same here. I want to finish the Lord of the Rings books. I've got those sitting on my shelf. What else am I thinking? Yeah, I'd like to read like between 5 and 10 new books this year, like released this year.
That would be that's a good idea.
Yeah, I feel weird just reading the classics for the time being.
Yeah, I've tried doing that.
Well, I'll let you know what I'm thinking of. Yeah, you can send me some of your picks too.
Yeah. Speaking of contemporary, I've got like the 5th season. By
N.K. Jemisin.
N.K. Jemisin, and I really been wanting to read that. Maybe I'll move that up the list.
Our what are you readings are going to be significantly more hectic, more chaotic.
Yeah, but no, it's going to be good. I'm excited to start reading more. It feels weird not reading a lot.
Yeah,
but I just haven't been.
I'm glad the time crunch of Christmas really got us to start reading again.
Mm-hmm.
Although I didn't stop. I've just been churning through Infinite Jest.
Right.
That one's like you have to army crawl through Infinite Jest, all the footnotes and stuff. So that one takes forever. It's really weird. Like we'll discuss, but it's really weird. Not weird in the quirk. Well, it is quirky. Not weird in the kind of dumb ways that Dune is weird towards the end. Alrighty. So, we'll get into our spoiler section for. Oh wait, we didn't even discuss the book.
Talked about the book. Yeah.
So, did you audiobook this or physical?
I did both for this one. I was probably maybe 60-40 audiobook reading split. Okay. Me and Cameron doing the reading at night thing.
Yeah.
I'd listen to it on my way to work and junk.
I did physical. Would you recommend it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really cool Christmas story that's not about Christmas.
Yeah.
If you're a holiday reader or a seasonal reader, I think this is definitely something you could get into. It's really cool like that. I know we like to do it with our holiday episodes that sometimes make the podcast make it on air. But yeah, if you like, to read a, winter themed, bundled up kind of story, especially with death as the stick in the mud, trying his best, but very clearly not being right for it. There's this one line where on 204 he goes, "Do I detect a note of unseasonal grumpiness?" said Death. "No sugar piggy wiggy for you, Albert." He's hilarious in this. They're talking about, and then he really likes doing it because he's talking about how most of the time people aren't excited to see him. And they don't leave him any sherry. He's telling Albert, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess they wouldn't." Then he's like, but if my first name was, if I had a first name, my middle name would be Duty. And it talks about Albert hearing a very sad ho 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 in Death's voice.
That's great.
The poor guy.
Small caps. Oh man, Death's so funny. He's my favorite. He might be my favorite character in literature in terms of people who I've seen in multiple books and people who I'm never disappointed by.
Yeah. Oh, every time. This one you could tell because it's got little scythes on it.
Yeah.
So it's exciting every time. You just handed me Thief of Time.
Yeah.
It's Death might be in it. That's something you're looking forward to.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a headline act, and it's Mort is the high watermark for Discworld, and he's the central character besides Mort himself. He's such a fun character. I like his sentimentality. There's something about Death being a sentimental guy, liking cats, having a soft spot for people. He's a nice dude. He just happens to be the person to kill everybody. He doesn't cause death. He is death. He's just I don't even know if you'd call him the executioner. He's just the dude who delivers.
There. Yeah. If you think about it, he's doing a good thing, guiding you to wherever you're going next. That's all he's there for.
Well, there's that chaos in Mort where Death stopped and Mort wasn't picking up the slack, and everything stopped.
Just a thankless, important job that he has to do.
That's kind of like the plot of A Midsummer Night's Dream, because Oberon and Titania are fighting, and they neglect their duties because they're fighting, and animals aren't getting born, they can't get married, it's just chaos. It's a very similar vibe. And then, would you read this in its entirety, or would you spark notes it? I feel like I know your answer.
Yeah, I would definitely read it.
Me too.
I feel especially the way Terry Pratchett writes, you just miss out on so much of the fun little nonsense that goes around in there. The plot is cool for this book, but what's more cool is just getting to getting to listen to this guy say all these crazy things. Yeah. I doubt that the crow trying to find eyeballs to eat would make it into the Spark Notes.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious. He's picking at jars of olives. He's thinking that they're eyeballs. She's you stupid bird. Those are olives. He's well, sometimes they get green when they're old. Well, you wouldn't know that. I'm an eyeball expert. It's it's labeled.
Oh man. It's such a funny book. And I don't imagine you are going to get this assigned to you. So just read it. Just read it at your own leisure.
Yeah, like all the Discworld, it's not super long. Like it might be a little long for a Discworld. It feels like
it's about twice the length.
Thick for a regular Discworld book. But that being said, this copy is like 300 and almost 400 pages.
Yeah, easy.
It's like pretty reasonable, and it's not like it's super intense reading. You know, it's just
giant font.
Yeah, giant font. Like the pages aren't filled to the brim.
Alrighty. We're going to take a break for our very presumably brief spoiler section. If you enjoyed this one, please come back for future installments. We're going to be finishing up the Discworlds leading into the Dune books. We're going to be starting season 2 imminently. And we are chugging through very long books in the hopes of putting a series together through that. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, then we'll see you back. And if you haven't read this book, please go read it and then come on back for the spoiler section. But on that note, I'm Spice.
And I'm Boom. Thanks for listening. All right, and we're back with the spoiler section. Thanks for sticking around.
Alrighty, Boom. So for this one, we've got Death in a headlining role. And I like Terry Pratchett using the generic Death needs to be replaced storyline. Or not Death, Santa needs to be replaced storyline. In this case, the Hogfather. With some really interesting aspects. Like it's Death. He seems antithetical to the idea of being this jolly old man.
That's the last dude that you'd be thinking is going to replace just this happiness incarnate guy.
Especially if you haven't read Mort or anything else. Because having read Mort, that Death is a nice guy.
Yeah.
He tries his best. He's kind, but he's not nice. He doesn't know how to put on the airs necessary to be nice. But he is kind-hearted. He just doesn't express it in ways that people are used to. It's very fish out of water. It's like an alien doing it. So he's also in a role that's not comic relief. He was comic relief in Mort. Things are going wrong for Mort, and he's just like going to the bar, going on like on a cruise, stuff like that.
To see him do crazy stuff, like
just talking to pedestrians,
consequential stuff.
And then he was comic relief in what's that one where he and the rest of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse are just hanging out at the bar, right? One of them steals his horse. Is it? Is it the one where you got the little kid with the staff?
I think that's the one. That's the one that I'm thinking of, like sorcery.
Yeah, sorcery. I think so. Either way, he's very frequently in a comic relief, context, and in this case, he gets a headlining role, which is fun. He's a very fun character.
Yeah, it was cool too. Death. Like just from picking it up. I mean, I guess I probably could have realized, like I was saying earlier, with the sites on the book.
Yeah.
But I mean, at first, like I didn't even read the back, so I was just started reading it. And like you're like you can just see the text. Like as soon as it starts, you're like, this is Death being Santa, the Hogfather. This is gonna be good.
There's that scene where he's got real pigs instead of the Hogfather's mystical hogs. And they're like dropping dumps in this girl's living room. And it's like, don't worry about it. They just do that.
Yeah, it's cool. And then, I mean, like just the beginning, like he does a good job of like introducing assassin stuff. Like, like in the pyramids.
Yeah.
It's like that started off super cool with the assassin training. And then like Mr. Tea Time is like a really interesting guy in the start of the story where like they're talking about taking a hit out on the Hogfather, and he's just like, oh yeah, like I've been thinking about this forever. Like I've already got a plan. We're doing it. And how just how it weirded out, but also intimidated everyone is of this guy.
Yeah. That's fun.
He's a cool character. The auditors are pretty neat.
Yeah,
they're funny. How like that one part in it, I meant to dog ear, but I don't think I did, where they're just talking and one of them accidentally uses me or I and talks of them as and they just instantly disappear, and all the other ones are like, we messed up there. Because they're not allowed to be individuals.
That's great.
That's how they live forever.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, this is a very funny book. There's a lot of good aspects to it. And I like even just looking at the cover, the Hogfather's so similar to Santa, but he's just got this weird pig motif to him.
Yeah.
That it's like, how'd you even think of this, Terry? How'd you consider the name the Hogfather?
I have no idea.
Yeah, this is a good book. How do you like it in comparison to more than all of them?
I got this one like pretty high on the list. It's hard to rate these things or like to give these things like official 1 through whatever's because they're all pretty good. But this one's pretty high up for me. I'd say it's probably around the range of like sorcery. I think I probably like it's probably pretty close to like as high as it gets for me. Like
it's like Equal Rights up there.
Yeah,
I like Equal Rights a lot.
Yeah, probably right around like Equal Rights, maybe like at or just below Mort.
What about The Color of Magic?
That's the thing. It's like that's right up there too. I like that.
And The Light Fantastic.
The Light Fantastic's great.
Yep.
There's really only a few that like just weren't quite
up to snuff.
And even those were good.
Yeah, like Pyramids and
yeah.
Small Gods is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've gotten to Small Gods yet.
Mm-mm. Or have I? Is it one of the first 7?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up on a whim. That one's okay. It's just got a couple of little problematic moments, but
right.
Generally it's fun.
Yeah, no, this is definitely it's pretty high up the list for me.
I still miss the luggage.
Yeah, that's the problem. I guess that's the problem is without the luggage, it's tough.
It was almost introduced too early.
Yeah.
So fun.
I miss the guy. Yeah, these I feel like I'd have to rate these on like a tier list, instead of like a just like top 10. I'd have to just do like because a lot of these I feel like would fit into like an A tier, like maybe S would be like Mort and like
I don't know sorcery
maybe
or like maybe
Light Fantastic.
Yeah. I like The Color of Magic a lot. I like the framing device of them starting at the beginning with the burnt down city.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of good stuff out there, man.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, I've been trying to sell these books to so many people lately. Like because I'm wearing my Discworld hoodie right now.
It's so
I'll
cute.
wear it everywhere I go. Like anywhere I know, I'm going to be talking to people who like might read something. Because people always ask about it. I'm like, wow, it's actually a really good series of books that's like 42 long.
Yeah.
And as soon as they hear that, it's tough,
And you have to be like SpongeBob having the ice cream truck falling on him. He's like, you don't have to read them in order.
No, exactly. You can just pick this up as it. You don't have to read anything before this. It's kind of interesting, because some of the characters in here, like, Death, we got to meet and learn more about in previous books.
Yeah.
But he would still be just as funny.
Yeah.
If you were reading this for the first time.
You can tell it because in most of the Discworld books, he still takes pains to bring up the fact that Discworld is like how many elephants? 5 elephants?
4 elephants.
4 elephants on the back of Great Odd-to-Win.
Yeah.
A giant turtle.
Yeah, it almost always start with some kind of little blurb about
just to set up the
so
world.
We're all here. Yeah, just so we're all in the same spot.
I saw someone online complaining about his world building of all things, but they didn't go into detail. And I was begging them. I'm like, just tell me what you don't like.
Right. Like, what are you talking about?
World building's awesome.
It's great. It's so fun.
A giant sandbox. Like you just do whatever he wants in there. It's awesome. Would you recommend this book?
I would. Yeah. It's like you're saying. It's just so funny. It's so hard. It's funny to try to explain some of the world building to people who haven't read any of it before. Like I was trying to talk about the reannual plants that you sow before you. Or you reap before you sow.
Yeah, you reap before you sow.
And if you drink, the drink you make from them, you can see into the future because that's the past for the plant. And if you fail to plant them after you,
that future doesn't happen.
It's terrible. Like
a lot of chaos.
The space-time continuum. Like, what are you even talking about?
The preannuals. We're bringing up the orangutan librarian.
Yeah, the librarian.
The fact that everyone could set him back, like that, he just doesn't care.
He doesn't want to be. He had a couple moments in this book where he's talking about like longing for the rainforest, although he's never been to the rainforest because he was turned into a monkey as a grown adult.
So stupid.
It's just in his bones. He can feel it.
This little orangutan bones.
Talking about they go on some little tangent where they're talking about how they think bananas are not fruits because they're fish.
What?
Yeah, I was rereading it. This guy's like one of the professors at the academy.
Unseen University.
Yeah, they're like, he's like, yeah, I don't think bananas aren't even fruit. I think I've been guessing they're a type of fish because he brings up some other fish that's yellow and swims in packs. He's like, but they figured out that they can be above the water and attack things on land. I'm like, but it's like they don't attack bananas.
How do you think of this if you're Terry Pratchett?
Yeah, think of it and make it like not just total nonsense. Because then while you're reading it, you're just like giggling to yourself. It's not
it's stupid, but it's funny stupid, not just like throwing stuff at the wall.
It all sounds reasonable in the book, like these guys arguing about that.
It's not like Bam longing to live a transient lifestyle with a horse, selling his house, accidentally reinventing Don Quixote.
Man, if he would have just been born a little earlier,
like 300 years.
Yeah, just a little earlier, he'd be famous. Harry and I would be what Don Quixote is.
That's so stupid. Do you have any more thoughts on the Hogfather in particular?
Yeah, I mean, probably not in particular. I think a lot of it's just you could just keep going on about how fun these books are. Like you can pick out so many spots in these that are just fun little quirky events.
This has got to be the best series I've ever read.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it more than because I love like the series like Robin Hobbs, like the Assassin's Apprentice, and I'm sure I'm gonna like the Live Ship Trade. But these are just such a good time to be in because those are not all good times. Like as good as they are, and as much as I enjoy them, like it's not always fun to read them. Like they're going through like really tough stuff sometimes. Like sometimes it's really dark.
Yeah, these will be dark for 30 pages.
Right.
Yeah, this will be dark for like the 100 pages in Pyramids where stuff's falling apart.
And it never even gets you because you're like, this is like
it's fun.
It's still gonna be fun. Yeah, they're gonna figure this out.
The only one where I left kind of sad was Sorcery
because of
Rincewind. Yeah. But even then, like the fact that he was able to maneuver it around like that makes it a little bit different.
Yeah, no, these are just really a good time to read. Now it's like we're at a point where we've read a pretty good chunk of these things. So for that to still be the constant is pretty cool.
Yeah, we're only like a quarter of the way through Discworld books, give or take. Well, when it comes to Discworld books, I don't think I can get enough. They're just too much fun.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're good, man. I'm excited. I'm glad we did this Christmas episode. I'm glad I started it like a while ago, and then we decided to do it for Christmas. So I waited on it. But it's one of those. It's one of those that you're sad to be done reading. Like I think I'll read this book again like during Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like it's something
I'd like to read it with somebody else.
If someone else I know will be interested in doing it, I will absolutely read it. They have a movie of it, which I have no idea how it is.
How do you even do death, man?
I don't know, because that voice I feel like is something like you have in your head.
Yeah, it's meant to be like hollow.
Yeah.
And dry, but also booming, which is not something people sound like.
Yeah, they'd have to do some kind of audio works. The guy, whoever does it in the audiobook, does a pretty decent job of it. It's fun that his granddaughter can like kind of do the voice.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I'm excited to read 7 through 20
to figure out
get more
where
of her backstory, because it's like we know she had to have come from more than the
woman
her name.
Yeah,
it's but it'd be cool to kind of see where that comes from.
The more Mort, the better. I like Mort.
I do too. Mort's a cool character.
Well, join us next time for either the beginning of season 2 or Fantasy Fridays. Got a lot to record, a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think this we'll probably post here, pretty quick for the season, and then we've got another Fantasy Friday scheduled, episode 8, the Hero of Ages will be posted shortly, and then we've got plenty of fantasy stuff coming.
Tons. We've read thousands of pages.
We've got so much fantasy that we haven't unleashed yet. But yeah,
please join us for it. And thank you for your gifts, Boom. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, this worked out is like perfectly. I think we're each pretty set now. That's fun. As excited as I am to get into these Dune books.
Oh yeah,
I was just
they're so much fun.
I felt weird buying them, because I thought I was like, when I bought like the first Dune, the worker there was like, are you a big fan? Like, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we'll see. Like, I at that point, I had like audiobooked a little bit of it. Now it's like I bought the next 3. If I would have saw that guy, he would have been like, "Oh yeah, man, you loved it."
Yeah, the first one.
This is purely obligation, sir.
Oh, they're so weird. They're so bad. God, how is Terry Pratchett so much better than Frank Herbert? So much better.
And the ideas are so good in Dune. Like or at least the original idea of Dune. Like he had so many pieces.
He just went with the worst stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it. And on that note, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of our listeners, to all of our fans. And keep on reading through the holidays. I know it gets hectic, but just keep on peeling through those pages. And I've been Spice.
And I'm Boom. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.